Welcome to the Old Time Radio Superman Show from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham. Got a comment? Email it to me, adam@adamsweb.us. We begin with an email from Andrew, who writes in, Dear Adam, thank you so much for the Superman podcast. I'm a high school student in southern New Hampshire. Listening to these mysteries has been the highlight of my summer vacation. Your commentary before and after each part has had me laughing from the very beginning. I loved when your dog accidentally started the episode with Jimmy's dog Storm. Ha, I'm listening to the White Plague now, and I will be moving through the rest of the episode soon enough. Thank you again. Well, thank you, and I know I got a couple angry reviews on iTunes at the time, but I'm glad somebody enjoyed that one. All right, well, I do want to remind you to check out Laser and Sword magazine, Laser and Sword. If you have a Kindle, issue 9 is available for a direct download to your Kindle, and you can also follow for free our 3 storylines at laserandsword.com. Well, they left us with quite a cliffhanger at the end of Part 14. Some unknown but very scary barriers stood between Clark and Jimmy and getting to the dynamite. Well, are they going to be able to save the day or not? Let's find out. It's the Pan Am Highway, Part 15.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hand, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. As you remember, Clark Kent entered into an agreement with Nehru, supreme leader of the Inca Indians, to bring their subterranean river above ground. Knowing full well that he could, as Superman, bring the river above ground without trouble, but unwilling to run the risk of flooding the Inca city in the event the rushing torrent should get out of hand, he discussed the problem with John Craig, one of the American engineers. Craig said that dynamite would be necessary. Remembering that the Indians had removed 2 cases of dynamite from Perry White's plane and hidden it in the mountain tunnel, Jimmy Olsen was certain he could show Kent where it was stored. Together, they approached the tunnel. Rapping on the stone door, they stepped back as it swung open slowly. And suddenly, Jimmy turned pale.
Look, Mr. Kent.
What is it, Jimmy?
Look, warriors. The tunnel's filled with them. Let's get out of here.
It's no use. They've seen us. Besides, we've got to get that dynamite.
Oh, please, Mr. Kent. They tried to get rid of me once before.
Well, that's a point in our favor. They think we're both dead. And look, the leader of those men is Seba, the gatekeeper. Jimmy, watch this. Seba! Seba, the gatekeeper.
Who are you?
Look at me, Seba. Look into my face. Do you not recognize me?
No, it cannot be. You are dead. Well, I saw you leap over the cliff like a man possessed. Boy!
You are right, Seba. But I have returned. The gods of the river have sent me back. They have given me a mission. They don't understand. Tell them, Seba. Tell them I have come from the gods of the river.
Mabuba! Tagunu! Ibitangwa! Taju!
They believe it. Look, Jimmy, they're drawing back.
What is it you wish, spirits?
I wish nothing, Seba. But the gods of the river are waiting for 2 boxes which the white men brought with them. It is a sacrifice.
I know not of boxes.
The gods of the river do not lie. They have told me where to find them.
Come, then, and get them.
Don't, Mr. Kent. It's a trick. Don't go.
It's all right, Jimmy. They're frightened. Seba, tell the men to clear the entrance. Tell them to stand close to the walls. He who draws near us will die. So say the gods of the river. Tell them, Seba.
Kagda Maba Takumbuna.
All right, Jimmy. They've opened a path. Come on. Stand aside, Seba. Tell them not to move.
Magnati!
dynamite's behind one of the doors on the right-hand side. Keep going.
You sure you remember?
I think so. There. Try that door.
All right. I hope it's open. It is. Good work, Jimmy. There are the boxes.
I'll carry one.
No, you won't. You take the torch. I can carry both of them. There. One under each arm.
Golly.
All right, Jim, lead the way. Here comes the hard part, getting out. I don't like this. They look suspicious. Tell the warriors to stand back, Diva. We must bring these boxes to the gods of the river.
The warriors do not believe that you are spirits. They would have proof that you were sent by the gods of the river.
Have you told them that I am one who has returned from the shadows?
I have, but they say I am an old man with eyes that do not see. Perhaps I am. Prove it then. Prove that you were sent by the gods.
Ken, what do we do? I'm kind of scared.
Don't worry, Jimmy. I have an idea. Diva, have you ever seen the gods of the river hurl thunderbolts?
No, but I have heard them.
Then watch. Tell the warriors to watch. Here is your proof.
What are you going to do?
This is a stick of dynamite. I'll open this box. Hate to waste one. Now, come on, Jimmy. I'm going to toss it outside of the tunnel so no one gets hurt.
No, go no further.
Would you stand in the way of a thunderbolt, fool? All right, Jimmy. I'll ask you. Here's your proof, Diva.
Terror-stricken by the thunderbolt bursting outside the tunnel, the Inca warriors drop to their knees as Kent and Jimmy walk unmolested through the open door. An hour later, Kent, White, Jimmy, and Craig, the engineer, stand near the underground river.
Well, now that we have the dynamite, Mr. Craig, how do we proceed?
May be impossible to make use of it.
Well, that's a nice how do you do.
Why can't the dynamite be used, Craig? It must be set off inside the passage, Mr. White. No man alive could swim underground against that current and set off dynamite charges. We haven't any discharge mechanism, nothing but short fuses. And you can't just toss the dynamite into the water, or else the river will run high, wide, and handsome.
Well, where would the dynamite have to be placed to send the water in the right direction, Mr. Craig? We don't want to flood the city, you know.
About 100 yards inside the passage. The explosion will tear open the entire surface of the passage. And if the terrific impact of the water is checked for an instant, the whole mass of the falls will plunge into the valley.
And supposing it isn't checked?
It may just swerve off course and flood the city. I don't know what all this discussion's about. There isn't a ghost of a chance of getting the dynamite in there, let alone setting it off.
Oh, well. Let's talk about it in the morning, huh? I'm dead tired.
There's plenty of soft moss back here. It's a swell place to sleep.
All right. It's a good idea. We can all use a little rest. Come on, Craig.
As the deep curtain of night falls on the exhausted little group of people, a tall, familiar figure rises from among them. Silently, he gazes at the sleeping faces, then reaches down and picks up 2 square boxes. He walks a short distance out of sight, and then suddenly he leaps into the air, carrying the dynamite with him, flies downward over the underground river. Yes, armed with the knowledge he wanted, Superman is undertaking a task greater than any Hercules ever dreamed of. Quickly judging 100 yards with his keen eyes, he swoops to earth. Let's watch him.
Now, tear through this earth and bedrock to plant the dynamite. Here goes. Oh, this is much deeper than I suspected. Granite is pretty tough. Through. All right. Now to plant this dynamite. Have to be careful not to drop it into the river as I climb down. There we are. All right. I can force it into this crevice here. That's good. Now, here go the fuses. So, it'll be better to watch from above. Up, up, and away! Ah, there she goes. Look at it. Must have spurted a mile into the air. Oh, wait. The falls are split. A river is starting towards the city. Down, down.
Thousands of lives at stake if the sweeping torrent rushes down to the Inca city. But watch Superman. He charges toward the falls and smashes into the rock underneath them. He must cut off the second river that forms. Millions of gallons of water are pounding over him as he braces his shoulder against the rock. If he can push it over, the rivers will be joined. The rocks shake. They're giving way. There they go. The rivers are flowing together, running together above the earth. It's one river now, one river, and it's flowing from the Valley of the Shadow.
Well, here is your river, Nehru. Peaceful and rather pretty.
I can hardly believe it. After 400 years. And now it is here. How did you do it?
That's what I want to know, Kent.
I don't mind saying I'd like to know, too. This is the first real engineering miracle I've ever witnessed.
Well, you gave me the plan, Mr. Craig. You deserve the credit. I simply found a hole and lowered the dynamite down. The rest happened just as you predicted.
You have forgotten, perhaps, that you are still wearing the jewel that turns yellow when you do not speak the truth.
Look, it's yellow now.
Here, Nehru, take it back and keep it. It's a troublemaker. You haven't forgotten your promise, I hope.
No, I have not. You will all be led to safety. We, the Inca nation, will never interfere with the highway you wish to build through the Andes.
Well, what are we standing around for? Come on, let's get back to the plane, back to the States. What are you mine engineers going to do, Craig?
We're going to stay in the Andes and finish the work we started, with Nehru's help.
Well, come on then. Lois is waiting at the plane. Bronson's there, too. What in blazes are you standing around for? Why do they have to pick a plane?
Calling Washington, official 177. Calling Washington, official 177.
Come in, please. Official 177, standing by.
Clark Kent reporting. Mystery solved. All engineers safe. Proceed with plans for the Trans-Hemisphere Highway.
And so, with another important job done, Superman returns to the United States. The highway will be built. Another link in the chain of America's vital defenses will be welded. But the mighty work of defending the democracies of the Western Hemisphere is not done. That work must go on, and Superman will lend his strength, his courage, and his intelligence again and again. The fury of the war increases, and Superman will play his part. There are exciting times and exciting adventures ahead, so tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Welcome back. Well, I think this was actually one of the better serials. Now, I did accidentally, when I was titling these, I put this out in the titling because I worked very hard to make sure I didn't repeat the mistake with having the wrong episode. So I worked hard on this, and then I found out that I put in the wrong title and listed the last one as Part 15. Well, this one was obviously Part 15. And I thought it was a nice ending. He gets away with a lot with the Stones. You get a great advantage of there being just, I think, the psychological blind spot to the idea that he could be Superman. That brings us to Mr. James Lotz's review for SupermanHomepage.com. And he points out 3 plot holes. The first, he actually had a question about the crystal. Because the crystal changed colors when he was lying. And his question is, well, would that really work with Kryptonian genetic structures? And I think he's right that they didn't really think that out too hard. He also said, wait a second, if he's wearing the Inca costume, he's not wearing his glasses. Either that or that was a dead giveaway for the Incas. Superman with Clark Kent without his glasses kind of looks like Superman. Maybe. I guess it depends on how you imagine it. That's part of the advantage of radio. They don't have to draw it to figure it out, but you figure some way or another he protected his secret identity. Like he may have been wearing a headdress when he wasn't wearing the glasses. And then the thing about the cough in the first part of the serial we have to talk about. But he points out all that just to say, hey, even despite all that, this was a great serial. And I have to agree. Usually once the serials have gotten past the 10-part mark, they kind of tend to ramble. This one, I think, was just really well done in terms of staying on a straight plot arc. Now, true, at the beginning we were kind of going from Metropolis to Washington, and then out to Central America. Or South America. But it wasn't like in the Metropolis football team, where we started out with Metropolis and football, and then we ended up spending the last few parts in Central America and having Clark Kent flying the medicine at the last few minutes of the game. This one was, I thought, much more focused, which made for a more interesting story. All right, well, we have a brand new adventure coming to you on Wednesday. You want to join us for that. We'll be getting into The Mechanical Man. Send your comments to adam@adamsweb.us. Remember, if you're enjoying the show, cast your vote for us on Podcast Alley. And be sure to check out Laser and Sword magazine, laserandsword.com. But from Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.